Talk fans and friends, perhaps of yesteryear, perhaps of recently coming across the YouTube channel. I want to make a public statement that I never thought I'd ever have to make. I'm sick to my absolute insides that I have to say all that I'm about to say. But you have to do what you have to do. Sometimes you have to just ignore kind of the zany things that happen in your life that are out of your control. But sometimes you can't ignore it. Sometimes you have to stand up and you have to put your fist into the air and say, this is enough. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Recently, my Mormon Talk email account has been absolutely flooded with disgusting, putrid filth. And I first glossed over all these emails that were sent to me because they were written in such a way that it seemed like people were concerned for my well-being. And I know that people don't hear from me very much because, well, frankly, I can't handle doing the show in my life right now and keeping my life intact as it should be, because it's never been anything but being completely inundated with a bunch of goblins that absolutely just make a mockery of me and my faith. But that aside, I was reading through these emails and it seemed like people were concerned about me, and that was very heartening. But they all contained a recording that claimed to be a phone conversation between me and my friend Brett, who formerly was a host of Mormon Talk. And I listened to the call, and it is someone impersonating my voice and impersonating his, and making it sound like, first of all, that he is in jail, which there is no indication of this that you guys can even make an indication of ever right now. That you can't do that because he's not. And it makes it sound like I am calling him and I am soliciting him and trying to tempt him to be inappropriate toward myself. And for him to betray his wife and to go camping in a tent in Brokeback, Wyoming, or whatever it is, and presumably have an immoral relationship with him. That is absolutely, could not be furthest from the truth. And that is absolutely a disgusting imagination that whoever crafted this audio file made up, and it's just frankly sick. It's just frankly gross. And then in the end, it claims that Brett is part of a racist white brotherhood. You know what? I've stood aside and let people call us racist, and I've just done nothing else but say, oh, well, no, we're not. You know what? You're probably the racist, whoever made that. To even come up with something so freaking dark and zany like that is, to me, it's a testament that there's some absolutely Belanku things going on in your brain at all times. Okay? And from a gross and polluted well comes gross and polluted thoughts. Okay? The water you draw from that well is going to be gross and polluted. And you know what? So the things you produce, the things you create, if they are disgusting, if they are reprehensible, if they are absolutely embarrassing and full of just feces and disgustingness, then that is where your heart is, unfortunately. And maybe you should, whoever you are, be concerned about that fact. And maybe, just maybe you can try to reconcile with God. Or I know a lot of you people don't even believe in your Father in heaven. So you know what? Reconcile it with a therapist then. Because you probably need one if you're coming up with absolute diarrhea like that. And I'm not kidding about any word I just said. Okay? I could say so much more. But I am a moral individual, and I bite my tongue when there is feces about to come off of it. Okay? And I'm not going to spew that just like you guys spewed it into my email. So, you know what? Whoever you are, that's deformation of character. Okay? And there are lawsuits that are brought up in response to things like that. And you know what? Another thing is this. Even if you can get away with it in this life, you're not going to get away with it in the next without coming to me and apologizing to me. Okay? Whether it's on your own volition or before the judgment bar of God, you're going to be held accountable for splashing me. You will. So when this is all said and done and you're standing before the judgment bar of God and the slideshow presentation is brought up of your life, I'm not sure if it actually goes like that, but you know what I mean. When that is brought up before tribunals of heaven and your family and everyone else and yourself, because you'll have a bright recollection of your guilt, you're going to be embarrassed that you did not wipe away the splash from my face that you blasted upon me. Okay? It is absolutely unacceptable. Well, sorry. There was a rat in the road and I almost ran it over. Well, anyway, that's basically all I have to say. And I ask you, whoever you are, is that all the filth that you have to splash? And when you do it to me, you do it to yourself. You do it to yourself. Well, anyway, to those of you who know nothing of what I'm talking about, just disregard this. But to those of you who do, and who maybe are a part of this absolute mockery, I challenge you to go look in the mirror. And start with the man or woman in the mirror. And ask yourself to change your ways. If you want to make the internet a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change.